Hey everyone, it is your host Damien here from Hybrid Heroes, and this is the HYROX Heroes podcast, where we talk everything that you need to know when it comes to getting ready for your next HYROX race. Excited to have you here, and let's get into the episode. Hey everyone, and today on the podcast, we're going to be diving into the topic, can you actually get HYROX ready in 4 weeks? 4 weeks. Now, the truth is we can, right? And I'm going to talk about that in today's podcast episode. Now, first of all, let's define what ready is, okay? Now, ready does not mean completely unfit, never exercised in your life, and then completely ready to take on HYROX. That does not mean HYROX ready in 4 weeks. But what ready means is taking you wherever you are. If you're a beginner, intermediate, advanced level athlete, right? It's about looking at who you are, what your goal is, right? And how can we get you locked in? How can we get you ready? How can we get you in the best shape possible, right? Physically and mentally to take on the race. Now, this is something that is so overlooked. And this is why, if you've been following us, we launched a 4-week HYROX Ready Challenge. Now, the challenge isn't necessarily designed to help people just go from 0 to 100. It's designed to get people from where they are today, 4 weeks out from the race. And how can we provide you the principles, the structure, right? The key fundamentals, right, of all of our training, right? And to lock in and zone in for 4 weeks. And why this is so important, and if you're listening to this episode, why this is going to be so impactful for you. Again, beginners have different problems than intermediate athletes, and then advanced have different. So in 4 weeks, right, there are key things that these different style athletes need to be focusing on. So it doesn't matter who you are, to optimize your performance to get you HYROX ready. Now, we've seen this with so many people. Like, I've coached hundreds of people in this space, and it's always amazing. It's so amazing that when we start to apply some key principles, right? Key simple steps. These are simple things, but we overlook it because as humans, we like to overestimate our ability. We like to, dream big, stretch, and think that, we need to achieve all these things in a short period of time. And then when we don't, why? Because most people who are doing HYROX are normal people. Normal relating to, we have lives, we have jobs, we have relationships, we have partners, we have other commitments that aren't, I know, believe it, as high of a priority, or we've got other commitments that are higher priority than HYROX. HYROX is not the number one. Now, not for everyone. HYROX can be your number one, but it's like, we have to make sure that our HYROX training fits in with our life. It can't consume our life. And that's why a lot of people get closer to the race, right? And they feel like they haven't done everything that they can because, it hasn't been their number one priority. And there are athletes, and again, this is going to swing the other way. And this is why this episode is going to be great for people who have, let's call it, made HYROX such a high priority and have, overtrained, doing double sessions, killing themselves essentially, right? Because they want to do so good at HYROX. Now, this is going to lead to potential, you're getting close to burnout, you're getting close to fatigue. And as we know about performance, right, there's a sweet spot. So that's why if you overdo it, right, that you will actually be losing performance. So guys, we're going to talk about this today. So the question, that we're asking is, can we get you HYROX ready in 4 weeks? It's like, yes, we can get you ready to race. We're going to dive into the principles that anybody, if you start applying today, I guarantee you will be more ready than you are right now listening to this podcast. So let's dive into it, and we're going to start talking. So again, we've touched on the three, essentially the 3 types, if we call them beginner, intermediate, or advanced, right? But let's break it down just a little bit more, because you're going to be one of these. So let's identify who you are, because this is going to help you make more sense later on. So the beginner / first timer. All right. It's your first time getting into the HYROX. So you're not sure, like, if you're even, this type of person, right? If you're a HYROXer, I'm not a runner. I'm just going to struggle at the strength stations. it's very normal to feel a lack of confidence. Like you're going to be like shitting yourself getting closer to the race. And this is very normal. Now, a lot of these first timers, let's just call it you've been training hard and consistently. You're still going to be shitting yourself. Like you still don't know what you're in for. There still will be a level of just, how am I going to go? Am I capable of doing it? Let alone if you're a first timer who, let's just say, hasn't, you signed up, you got all motivated, your friends jumped in, but you haven't necessarily been following the training program. You haven't been going to your classes. Maybe you've skipped a few runs. Why? Because again, it's new. You're not this runner, HYROX athlete yet, right? Well, that's what you're telling yourself. So training has been subpar. So this is going to create even more stress, more doubt, more fear in you, right? And HYROX should be an amazing experience. Like, I don't want to let you know that. Like, going to the race, going to the day, it's such a fun experience. You do not need to get a certain time. You do not need to get a podium. You just need to cross that finish line and be a part of it. And first timers, again, we can, get so scared of completing it, but we just got to remember, it's not about, being better than your friends, better than your mates, getting a certain time. It's just about that. So we're gonna touch on some of the things that you can do over the 4 weeks, right, to just create a bit of to get confident, right, to create calmness in your thinking, right, and to remember your big picture. Okay. Second type of person, this might be you now. This is typically, let's call it like the intermediate type athlete. Now, what's an intermediate type athlete? Someone who is not new to training. You train regularly, you train hard. You potentially have even done HYROX before, and now you're looking to improve your time a little bit. You've definitely caught the HYROX bug. You've seen it, you've been a part of it, you love it, and now it's your like second time at it. Or you're someone who's just not new to functional fitness, right? So you know sort of what you're in for, and you've signed up, but now it's just like it just hasn't become a priority because maybe you like training in other areas. You don't just want to put it all into HYROX training, e.g. maybe you haven't done as much running. Maybe your work is busy, so you've just been flat out at work and you haven't been able to perform or train at the level that you're capable of. You've got kids. Kids have taken up your time. You're in a relationship. You're traveling for work. Schedules have been all over the place. This is the busy human. This is the person who, again, has every great intention, knows they're capable of so much more, but you just might not be in the position you want to be in. So again, we need to get you, this is the person that just needs to get locked in. And I have a lot of these conversations with people. It's like, they're like, I know what to do. I just need to get back into my routine. And this is now, as we get closer to the event, right? Typically we take a ton of action at the end. So it's like lack of action, let's call it like 6 weeks, 12 weeks away from the event. And now it's in around the last, 4 weeks. And then we take, immense amounts of action, which can sort of, again, lead to potentially overtraining in these last 4 weeks. So we're going to talk about what that person needs, right? What you need that person, that busy human, to get locked in. All right, the third type of person, and this could be you as well. And this is all important to talk about. And you might not be these other two people, but you might have a friend or your partner might be this person. You might be living with these type of people. So it's good to go over this and learn it because you can shine a light on them, or you might direct them to the podcast to listen. But you might then start to understand where different people are at, right? And why your expectations shouldn't rub off on them, right? Or get to understand them. All right. So the third type of person that we're going to talk about. Now, this is the intermediate advanced athlete. So the person who's quite, really, like, let's call it like they're the really fit ones, right? They're an advanced type person. They're training hard. They're putting in the work. They're full David Goggins mode. They are listening to motivation. They're doing 2 sessions on some days. They're doing their strength. They're doing their threshold runs. They're the ones that are like, I'm at my local, BFT or F45, and I'm going to do a double session. These are the high achievers. These are the overtrainers, right? They are overtraining. Now, when you're on the elite side, advanced elite side, let's call it that upper echelon, right? There's always a fine line of overtraining because we're trying to find out where our potential is, where our max is. So to overtrain isn't a bad thing. to keep overtraining and to stay in that zone of overtraining is a bad thing. And I say this, I did a recent podcast that hasn't dropped yet. That will drop really soon. And we talk to an athlete who did 10 he's going to do 10 HYROXs in Sydney. And but his journey is he went into this like massive overtraining sort of period. So what that started to do is it started to create negative impacts, started to create negative, where he started like, burning out, performance was dropping off, right? And what I said and highlighted with him, I almost lost this train of thought, was when this person who's overtraining, the scary thing with it, and I'm going to talk so much more about this in the future, is when we get results by overtraining, right? Because we do get results, then our brain and we start to wire in, like that's what it takes to get results. Now, you can do that for 3 months, 6 months, maybe 12 months, right? But then this approach will lead to unsustainable habits for your life, right? It will lead to potentially like long-term health effects, hormonal imbalances, stress. Then you even desire to train. All these things will happen. So that's why it can be okay to overtrain, but you got to recognize when you are, and you got to learn to pull it back. Just like I was saying with Elliot, who we had on the podcast, he did an amazing job at doing that, and now he's performing better than ever. So we've got to understand there's a relationship there with overtraining. But this type of person, right, they're doing too much. They're coming now closer to the race, and this is the impact of it. The thought of slowing down, the thought of recovering, the thought of a taper can sometimes just scare the hell out of them, and they don't know how to let off. They don't know how to let their body recover, and you're actually going to come into your next race fried, right? That's the best way, potentially, and underperform. And again, I've seen plenty of people. I know lots of people who've come into the races overtrained in this state, and they've improved their HYROX by like a minute. I've seen some people like their time went back by 2 or 3 minutes. And imagine putting all that work, all that hard effort, right? Killing yourself, and you got a worse time. Like, and that's just a classic, analogy. Or sometimes you got to take a couple of steps back, or one step back to go multiple steps forward. So that's the third type of person. All right. Now it's really important that we understand these 3 types of people, and you identify where you're at. Are you the first timer? Are you the busy human? Are you the overtrainer? All right. Understand it. Because now we're going to talk about principles. Now it doesn't matter. Again, these are principles of our training, of me as a coach. I've learned this over many years. I've learned this through lots of great people, great coaches, great institutions, right? And it's so amazing. And literally my job as a coach in Hybrid Heroes is we're just trying to instill like these fundamental principles, right, into people, right? So I'm going to go through 5. We've got 5 here right now. And if you understand these and apply it, again, does not matter who you are, what level you're at. If you apply these in the way that serves you and your goals, right, I guarantee, this is the guarantee, right, that you will be more ready for HYROX in 4 weeks. And this is why we created a challenge, because we can give people these principles, right, and we can see massive improvements. Okay, so number 1, let's talk about tip number 1, principle number 1, right, and that is principle of consistency. Okay, it's not about doing everything, right? And it's not about having massive weeks, like a big training week. It's about the people who can, week after week, month after month, right? Year after year, right? Depends how long you want to do this for, be consistent. We see people, right? I'm going to talk about this person in particular a little bit more when I chat about it, but we can see people just by adding like 1 consistent session a week, like if you run every Wednesday, right, and do a zone 2 run, and you be consistent at that every Wednesday, you just hit it for like 8 weeks straight, that alone will create a substantial increase in your running ability versus 1 week doing, 3 runs a week, then no runs, then 1 run, then 3 runs, right? We will find that person who can just be more consistent, not only will achieve great steady progress, right, but they actually have a great relationship then with that run, because it's achievable, it's sustainable, and that progress then comes with it, and it doesn't feel like a big burden or task, right? Consistency can be in training like running. It can be in your nutrition. It can be in your sleep, right? It can be in your in again, your training plan, right? Consistency, I don't believe has a negative effect, right? By just being very consistent at performing actionable tasks, right, that work in line with your goals, right? So again, work in line with your goals. So again, the beginner, right, the first timer, the busy human, right, the person burning out, the advanced level athlete, right? Again, you have to think, what is actionable steps that I can take consistently that work in line with my goals? And that's why I said it very early on in the podcast too. It's about setting the right expectation, because if you're that first timer, like, don't think you're going to podium, right? Yeah, you might, but like, is it like, again, just get real with what you want to do. I just want to complete the race. And I know so many people that just want to complete the race, but they set an expectation, like they also have a time. It's like two different things, because just finishing the race and then trying to achieve a certain time, first time that you've never done it, no experience, you have no idea about even the course and all the rest. It's like, we're just loading yourself up, right? So then if you truly think that, this is why consistency can throw off, because you might say to yourself, I want to do 5 sessions a week, but you can't consistently do it. But you just constantly have that expectation there week after week. You're going to fail. And then if you fail to start being consistent, then you might go, shit, I'm falling off. Oh, I'm going to now you stop focusing on the week, and now you are going to miss sessions, and now your routine's all messed up, right? Where you could just say, I'm going to do 3 sessions a week. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Again, this is why, going back to the title, can we get someone ready in 4 weeks? Well, if we get you super consistent at just achieving your things in 4 weeks, guess what you're going to make? You're going to make some great progress, right? You're going to start to feel more confident in yourself. Are you going to start to feel more capable of your HYROX? Yes, you are, right? This is the beautiful thing about it. Okay, principle number 2, structure. Like I just mentioned, it sort of ties in. See how these principles tie in. Now, we've talked about consistency, right? And I was saying 3 sessions a week. Well, what is that? That's structure, okay? So now we need to start to look at ourselves. I need to create consistency. We understand that's so important. Now, how do I structure it? So think of your goals. What are those steps, right? And plan it out. Like, literally plan it out. Get a pen and paper, right? Get your calendar in your phone, right? Do something. Get your notepad. Like, get a pen and write on the walls, okay, as long as it's not a rental, and start to, what does that structure look like for me, right? That looks like for me. Now, again, when we create this structure, it's got to be in line with the principle 1 of consistency, right? So you start to map out my training. Where's my run? Where's my strength session? Where's my HYROX training? Structure it, okay? Once you have that structure, can I be consistent? Yes, I can with it, right? I also like to call this, start to think of, at the very least, what we call like a no matter what schedule, right? A no matter what schedule. So no matter what, I'm going to be able to do this, this, and this, right? Don't overload your schedule. Go to the bare minimum, no matter what. Now, when you get to that bare minimum, then you got to say, do I think I can achieve my goal? Do I just want to cross the line? Do I want to PB my race? Do I want to get to the podium? Right? With that schedule, do I believe that will deliver the results? And if not, you can start to change the structure, right? See, it's very easy. When we start to have a plan, right? What's the saying? If you fail to plan, you're planning to fail, right? So that's why structure and planning comes into it. Now, I'm amazed. I'm amazed so much. And how many people are training for HYROX, training for any sport. I've coached a lot of people in a lot of sports over the years, a lot of goals, and they don't take the time to do this, to just write a plan, to put a structure in place. The amount of people that will watch YouTube, that will listen to podcasts, that will do all these things and put time into it, but it's like, take 10 minutes, put a plan together. Like it's sometimes that simple, but it's, again, we just sort of keep it in our mind. And then that means we're going with the flow. And that means we're also emotional to the actions that we want to take. So just be a little bit, let's get logical for a moment, create a structure, right? And then that will allow you to feel even more confident, and then if you follow that, again, in 4 weeks, if we're consistent in a structure that we know works, telling you, we're on the right track. Okay, principle number 3, we're going to look into that we're going to apply. Then we know that we need to be consistent. We have now a structure in place, right? Now we need to be disciplined, right? I just touched on emotions, because discipline, or people think that motivation plays a big part in training and achieving goals. And if you do listen to a lot of people like David Goggins, if you know David Goggins, and a lot of people in training spaces, Nick Bear, for example, really any high level high achiever, they're not motivated. They are disciplined, because motivation fades. Motivation comes and goes, right? Motivation is an emotion that it's like, I feel like doing that. I am now motivated to do that. Or I am so not motivated. I am so can't be bothered, and I need someone to motivate me. Now that is just like an emotional roller coaster. But when you think of discipline, discipline is then a decision. It's a choice that no matter what, no matter how I feel, no matter what my body is telling me that day, no matter what the external environment around me is, I've committed to a goal, and that goal needs then me to be disciplined, to show up, to do the action necessary, right, in order then to stay on track to complete the task required to achieve your goals. That is discipline. Now, discipline does not mean if you can't physically walk because your legs are so sore, and now you got a 15-kilometer run to do, that you need to go out there and be in pain and torture yourself. No, that is not discipline. I'm talking about like sleeping in the morning and you're like, oh, it's cold outside, I can't be bothered running. Get out of bed. Be disciplined. I can't be bothered tracking my food. Like, because opening up my phone and spending 30 seconds to log my nutrition is so hard. Open up your phone, log the food, right? Which is going to help you on your goals. I'm doing my HYROX or my strength session. I'm not going to do the last 2 exercises. Do the last 2 exercises. Be disciplined, right? I've got 3 sessions. Now I've created a structure no matter what schedule, but I'm not even doing my no matter what, because I just can't be bothered, because my mate John is his birthday tonight and we're going out for drinks. It's like, be disciplined, right? Be in line with your goals. Now, again, in line with your goals, because there's nothing wrong going out to John's birthday party and having a few drinks. There's nothing wrong with that. But if you want to be like an advanced level athlete, right, and you want to achieve your PBs and you're 4 weeks out from the race, act in line with your goals. If you are someone, a first timer, just want to cross the finish line, want to have a fun time, you've been training hard, you've been following your structure and routine, and it's John's birthday Friday night, go out and have a few drinks with John. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. See, guys, see how we just have to meet our expectations, right? But we have to be disciplined, right? And it's so funny, because I'm sure all of us, have we ever done a run, a training session where we just did not feel motivated? We actually felt shit, and we did it, and then we felt better afterwards, right? We should all have had an experience like that, because what happens is when you take action and just do the things necessary, you will feel better, because you're then making progress. Progress equals happiness, right? And that is much better than skipping a session, feeling like you're falling behind, feeling bad in your body physically. Then mentally, you're stuck in a negative frame of mind. This is where discipline is. Another famous, human, Jocko Willink, who, he has a book literally about all this stuff. And, he's one of his famous quotes is like, discipline equals freedom. So you then have to be disciplined enough, right, to stay in line with those goals, which is going to tie into the next principle. I love how all these just tie into each other. And now talking about it, I didn't realize how much they all have an impact on each other, but they so do. So the 4th principle, which is such a great one, right, is mindset and self-belief. So most people, they lose the battle in the head before like anything even starts, right? Like, what do you tell yourself? What do you focus on? Who do you think you are? Like, not like, who do you think you are? Like, who do, like, when you think of yourself, do you think of yourself as someone who can't run, someone who's not capable of achieving a HYROX? Even though you're training, even though you're doing those things, are you still just telling yourself, I'm out of my league, I'm out of my zone? If you want to be an elite athlete, are you telling yourself, look, I'm not that fit, I'm not as fit as them, I'm not that person, I need to do more training? It's like, don't be that person. If you're that busy human, oh, I'm just too busy, other things going on. It's like, really? Maybe it's just like, you're actually doing amazing things. You're getting it all done. You're an amazing human by running the business, taking care of your family, and you're still training, still getting in. You're not behind. You're exactly where you're meant to be. But what's that mindset? What are you drilling into yourself, right? Also, when we tie it back to like discipline, it's like, that's why discipline is so important, because imagine that person who's consistent, structure. Like, imagine you being, again, consistent, following your structure. You're disciplined. You're taking the actions and being disciplined, making tough decisions. John, I can't come tonight because I got my goals to achieve. So I'm going to get to bed early. I'm going to get up in the morning, train. Imagine that person. Imagine that version of you who does that for 3 weeks, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, a short period of time, let alone you've done it for 6 months, right? What's that mindset? What's that belief in you then? You are affirming with every choice, every action that you make, that I'm affirming that that's what I want to be. So an example of this for me, what helps my mindset is I don't drink any alcohol. And I enjoy a cocktail, I enjoy a glass of wine, and I am not like alcohol free. But since the birth of Hybrid Heroes and since training with amazing human beings around me, I leveled up my mindset as well, because I'm trying to inspire these people. I want to perform and do HYROX. I haven't, actually, I had probably 1 or 2 drinks literally over the course of the last 18 months. And some of those drinks have been after the event to celebrate, like 1 drink and then realized I didn't even want this drink. But I stopped drinking altogether. And like whenever I go out, anything like that, because I'm just like, drinking does not go with my belief system of being an athlete or performing. And I'm not an elite athlete, but it's like, I want to be the best version of myself. So drinking and, having a bad sleep, wake up in the morning not feeling great, and all these things don't go in line with drinking. So I just made the choice. I'm not going to do that. Now, when I go out and not drink, it actually builds my confidence in my belief system of wanting to be an athlete. So if you're going out still drinking, having too many glasses of wine, feeling like shit the next day, what impact? Don't worry about the physical impact. That's already one story. But what about the mindset, the cost on your belief in your mindset? So over 4 weeks, right? Over the next 4 weeks, if you stop drinking, like is an example. No, I'm not saying you have to, but you could, right? If you stop drinking, what are you telling yourself? You're telling yourself that I'm committing to my goal. Now, if you do that 1 week, your first weekend goes by, oh, I feel better. I didn't drink and I feel like I want to train now. You do that second week. Ooh, now I've made great progress. I'm feeling even better. The third week, ooh, HYROX is not far away now. The fourth week, right? That confidence is stacked. You've been training better. You've been recovering better. Come into HYROX feeling like that. Like, that's the kind of progress we can make in 4 weeks. It's incredible. Now that's sort of like drinking, talking about alcohol, talking about something that might be working against us. But again, like it could even be steered towards just your training, like your run sessions or your nutrition. I've been hitting my nutrition. I've been tracking every day. If you track your nutrition every single day for the next 4 weeks, like not only are you going to lose weight, drop body fat, but your energy and your feeling is going to go through the roof. You can do that in 4 weeks. 4 weeks. You can do it. Like, you'll feel substantially better doing that in the next 7 days, right? And it's 4 weeks, 28 days of progress. Guys, come on. It's that simple. We can do this. Okay. Fifth principle here that we're going to talk about now is trust the process. Okay. Trust the process. I love this. Now, this is something that I resonate with a lot, that you just got to put trust. You got to have faith. Okay. The universe, God, whoever it is, you got to trust it, right? Big brands like LSKD, they literally blast this over their merch, because this is part of, Jason Daniel, the owner of LSKD. This is how he's built his business so big. You just got to trust the process. If you if you then think about being consistent, creating structure, being disciplined to that structure, building your mindset through actions, let alone, then listening to podcasts, learning, educating, YouTube, reading books, right? That is a process. And if you get that process right, your life unlocks. Right? Imagine what you can do. Now, we're talking about in 4 weeks, the impact that you can have in 4 weeks to get ready for HYROX, to go from not feeling ready to feeling ready, to feeling like this isn't for me, to feeling like this is now me. Like, it is crazy. Trust the process, okay? You just got to start. There was a question the other day. Someone said to me, what's the best way? It was even like in regards to like meditation, because meditation, calming yourself, going inwards, right? And I'm like, the best way to start meditating, to learn how to do it, is you just got to start meditating. Like, you just got to start. You just got to get into that process, right? And you will learn as you go. Now, the great thing about doing all this is you don't have to nail this. You don't have to get this all right. Maybe week 1, it's a bit of hit and miss, but week 2, you improve. Week 3, it's great. Week 4, nailed. Like, that is it. Oh. Okay, what to focus on? So now we know the 5 principles. Okay, we've got 5 principles there. What to focus on, right, in these final 4 weeks, right? So set your days, right? Know which days you're training. Lock them in. Let's create that no matter what schedule. When it comes to the actual training itself, like this tip here, repeat sessions. Don't think next 4 weeks, every session's got to be brand new. If you just create a schedule for 1 week and repeat it 4 weeks in a row, not only will you now, it'll give you a level of like certainty coming into the race, going, okay, into the week, going, it's not like, what am I doing today? You'll know what to do, but it's more measurable. You'll be able to go, I can make measurable progress because, last week I did this, then now this week I did this. And you feel, and you can actually really see the difference week after week, let alone, 4 weeks of it. So repeating sessions, there's nothing wrong with that. Simple is strong, right? So simple, like you might just do, and if you're again on the beginner side, like 1 strength session, 1 run, and 1 HYROX session, right? Is sometimes all you need to be able to create all those 5 principles that we spoke about before to make progress. Let alone if you have a more detailed training program, or if you're part of a community that's doing more, amazing, right? Amazing. But don't overlook just simple. Okay. Recover smart. All right. Hydration, food, sleep, right? They are important for recovery. So add recovery into the equation. A lot of people that I, in my circle, we suffer from not getting enough sleep. So we have to really focus on our wind down time, quality of sleep. Making sure the room is dark, making sure, that you're comfortable and it's not too warm, anything that disturbs your sleep. Maybe you have to put the dog outside. I know I struggle with that one. The sun is coming through, people. And then we have to follow a plan, right? Follow the plan. This is the last step. Now you got all this, you set your days, you got your training sessions organized. It's simply laid out, right? You're going to focus on recovery. Just follow it, right? You just got to follow it. And that is the great thing about a plan, is it's you pre-think about everything that you need to do, so that then you don't need to keep thinking about it. I just got to follow that plan now. So this all makes sense. We know it all makes sense, right? And we can see like that, by adding all this is not going to really be a negative. Now I've seen multiple people. Now, what really sparked a lot of my belief in this system is I've coached people like this for plenty of years and I know the importance of it. But what really shined a light on this for me was we had our HYROX Friday session. So here in Melbourne, we do a HYROX training session every Friday. And we were getting people, just our friends were coming down and coaches, and that's how it started. It's not a paid class. It's not a class that we just let anyone come to. It's just friends that we know. And we had one of my friends started bringing his girlfriend, and she had a HYROX coming up. And she was already doing a bit of training. She was already doing a bit of running. But then she never done HYROX. She started coming to HYROX. And her race was in 4 weeks. She was getting worried. She was panicking. She was all of the above. And she joined us on our HYROX Friday session, just one. And we post this in our free online school group as well. And she did it week 1. She's like, that killed me, all the rest. She had a great time. Week 2, she came back. She did it again. Week 3, she was then like speeding up on the runs. she was getting more confident. And then by week 4, she was actually crushing these sessions. And I asked her, I'm like, what else are you doing during the week? She said, I'm just doing my strength training and I'm going out for one run a week. So this one HYROX session a week, what did it do? It was structured, because our sessions are structured. So it was progressional over 4 weeks. She was consistent, right? She was sticking to her other plan, which was simple. It was incredible. And she went and she did an amazing HYROX time. We got her results there, I think, on our page somewhere. And now she's doing it again. Like, now it's a building block for her next one. It was incredible. And I've seen multiple stories like this come through. So that's why I was like, we got to create the HYROX 4-week ready challenge, because this is it's a real product that really helps people. And that's why I'm doing this podcast today, to really shine a light on how anybody, whether you join our challenge or you just implement this into your own life, you can get so ready in 4 weeks, right? What we do now with all these principles is, and this is the beautiful thing, I believe a lot of people can focus hard for 4 weeks, right? Like, we can zone in for 4 weeks. And what we can achieve will last so much longer than we think, because for 4 weeks, if we can create consistency, discipline, and we can start to build these foundations into our training, and in 4 weeks get a result. And if we continue then to believe and instill these principles into our training beyond the HYROX, beyond those 4 weeks, forever, your training and your progress will change massively. So this could be, this focusing for 4 weeks, joining the challenge, implementing this before your race could just be a huge foundation builder, right? That is just going to change everything for you moving forward. So guys, now to plug, if you're okay, I'm going to try get you into our 4-week challenge. So if all this makes sense to you, right, but you do want a little bit of help, right, with, all right, well, what's a structure I can follow? How do I do all this? I would love some help, some support with this to get started, because I don't know. It all sounds right, but I don't know where to go. Well, we created the HYROX 4-week ready challenge. Now, inside this challenge, we've got it on our training app. So it's simple. It's all laid out for you. It's beginner, intermediate, advanced level friendly, right? We guide you. Beginners, we encourage 3 sessions a week. Advanced, we encourage 5 sessions a week. It's designed to be intense 4-week period, but instilling all of these principles. And if you listen to this whole podcast, you now are equipped with the insights on how to execute this. You get myself in there to coach, support you as well. You get our community, guys. It's packed full of features, but the main thing is we deliver it right for you. So it's all done for you. It's $47, right? I've just made this a no-brainer solution. So we pack it with our training program. You get all our resources onto all the stations, techniques, everything that you need. But for $47, this can not only get you ready for HYROX, right? Like this is more valuable than a pair of carbon plated shoes, right? They only give you a 3% return. This can give you like an 80% return if you get all of this right. So if that is something that you are interested in and you're like, wow, like sign me up because that sounds great, all you got to do is click the link below in our description. You can get the offer, and we give 100% money back guarantee. I guarantee you that if you get into our challenge, if you follow the program, right, and if you display the principles, like there is no way you cannot get a result, right? Now imagine that version of yourself, like I said, building your confidence week after week, feeling more ready for your race. So it doesn't matter if you're right now, beginner, first timer, scared, not sure if you can do it. Well, let's get you as ready as we can in the next 4 weeks, and let's build some confidence in you. Let's get you ready. Let's test you out a little bit, right? So you can come today going, I can do this. If you're a busy human being, right? Let's lock you in. Let's get you locked in. 4 weeks to go. Like you're capable. You just need to be locked in. So let's lock you in, and you're going to have a great race. If you're that advanced athlete, like this might be the thing that you need to just like structure yourself a little bit more so you don't overtrain. Now, if you're typically an advanced athlete, like you should have a training program already sorted. But if you're someone who's winging it or just making it up as you go, like again, you are leaving potential, right? You are leaving potential behind by not having structure. the goal here is to get to HYROX on the day feeling good, feeling centered, feeling present, not worried, not scared, not anxious. Okay. If that is you, let's join the challenge, guys. Let's get involved. We've already had quite a few signups, which has been really incredible. But regardless, I'm not going to say anything more about that now. Regardless, if you take these principles, if you apply it into your training, like, guys, it's literally life changing, and it's all the foundations on what not only our 4-week challenge, we have 12-week programs. We got programs that go all the way out to 12 months. Why? Because we align all these principles which make programming make sense for a long period of time. Because what you need to do 12 months out, again, goes back to the goals. Well, what's the goal 12 months out of training? Well, it's not to be in peak condition, right? What's the goal 9 months out, 6 months out, 12 weeks out? It all changes. So we apply that. So you can really start to see how, when principles applied, right, it's like anything is then achievable, right? And we remove the limitations, we remove the restrictions, right? Because this allows us to keep making progress in the right direction. Guys, I'm going to wrap it up there. I hope you all have an amazing day. Keep training hard, apply these principles, train, be smart, recover well, guys, and I'll see you all at HYROX real soon.